Asians and Caucasians Podcast. Asians and Caucasians Podcast.
Yo, what's going on? It's Mr. R&B, and we got a special guest. Nevertheless, we got LeeTheHulkGod up in here. So at Urban Cultural Arts on the podcast, Asian and Caucasian, don't ever think that even he laughed. Even he laughed, all right?
That was funny.
Hey, we are all inclusive, all right? This is a melting pot, not just because of that. You know what I'm saying? All right, so we got LeeTheHulkGod in here. If you guys don't know him, I'm going to hand the mic over right to him to let him express who he is and give us a little knowledge about what he does. He's been kicking with us at Urban for an eternity, I think.
Yeah,
for a long time. Yeah, he's a talented individual. This weekend, he's got something to show you guys. So,
for sure.
Hand the mic over, bro.
All right, this is LeeTheHulkGod coming to you live and direct. Got this art show coming up. That's November 18th from 8 to 4. Going to be some entertainment, some food. Just some good networking going around. I consider myself a neo-expressionist artist, so I'm pretty sure it's going to reach some people, not some people, but everybody. So,
okay.
So that's how it's going to be, and I hope everybody can come out, but you can come out and just enjoy yourself. But you can reach me on Instagram. That's at LeeTheHulkGod, and you can come check out the flyer and see what we got going on and come see some of my artwork that I got posted up. Besides that, that's what it is.
So if you guys haven't seen his pieces yet, he's sold many pieces at Urban Culture Arts here, and as well as other places as well. Talented individual known in the community here with his artwork that tells a story.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, so
yes.
I got a couple questions for you, man.
Shoot.
This is a long time coming.
Yes, it is.
And one thing I wanted to ask you is you have a unique style of painting.
Yes.
So where does that come from?
Well, everything that I paint, I always put a piece of myself in it. Like I call them like personal emojis, basically.
Okay.
So if you look at my artwork, I use a lot of roses in my artwork. That which beautified beauty. And sometimes you remember the song "Roses Really Smell Like Boo Boo." so whatever. That's Outkast. Shout out to Outkast. You know what I'm saying? But I use like lightning bolts and just different type of stuff like the flower pot that I use a lot in my artworks that represent growth, and I put a piece of me in everything. Even if you look at my artwork, you could try to tell where I'm going with it because I try to make it as simple as I can, so even a kid can be able to understand it and they can get their own interpretation of how they feel about it. But it's different.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna.
It's really different.
I seen your artwork. I know you have a lot of it plastered all over Urban Cultural Arts. I do. Mm-hmm. And the one biggest piece that sticks out to me is if you haven't gone down the stairway, you had a big piece,
and it's still there.
That's why I had to look at that like I took probably like 4 or 5 turns looking at it. I'm like, what the? I'm like, this is new. I'm like, this is So you guys can check out LeeTheHulkGod this weekend.
Yes.
And his event is called "Can I Call You Rose 2?"
Part 2, because this part is "Can I Call You Rose 2?" That's with the TOO. So because this is my second installation. So I'm pretty sure. Hopefully this will be live. So everybody just come out and show out. That's how I expect it to go. I expect everybody to have a good time. But most importantly, I just want people to really get a piece of me and feel where I'm coming from with it.
Okay.
And I just that's all I want from everybody. Just come and enjoy yourself. But
okay, the artistry that you bring to the center here and everywhere else. Do you have any pieces other than here?
Actually, I just had some pieces put up at 101 Gallery. Shout out to them in De Pere.
101 Gallery. Where's
101 Gallery is in De Pere. It's actually like a clothing store. They sell vintage clothes, retro Jordans and stuff like that. It's 101 Gallery. So a lot of my pieces was up there for about a month or so. And so now they're doing rotating artists. So my time was just up at that time. But now they building the website and they're going to post some of my art up there too as well. You can also find me on TikTok too. So at LeeTheHulkGod. So I don't have Facebook, so you can't find me there.
And your pieces of creation, do you sell them online too? Are you planning to sell them online?
Yes.
Or are you just kind of like, hey, hit you up and be like, hey.
Yeah, hit me up. You can hit me up. You can hit me up, and when you see, hopefully I'll see you and you can get my information and stuff from me when I'm there. But I'm selling them all over. If you want some, come to Urban Cultural Art Event Center. You can come grab what you want. They already priced, and and I'm trying to keep it not so pricey, because I'm the type of guy, I love what I do, and I'm not even exaggerating. I got thousands. Okay. That's not even on canvas yet, and this is not no exaggeration. So I'm pumping out work.
Yeah, that's why I remember you and Tommy Boy. I'm like, bro, got a lot of artwork.
I'm pumping them out. Every day, all day long. I got stacks and stacks of paper because usually when I do it, I do it on paper first. Oh, so I got, and then I transfer it into on canvas. Okay. Or whatever I have, whatever you have, and I'm not the richest person in the world like that or nothing like that, but I put on art where I can get it.
Right. Okay.
If I can grab something or something, I'm putting it on there. You
rich at heart already.
Exactly.
So, yeah, man, you guys got to check him out. LeeTheHulkGod. Check him out on Instagram. LeeTheHulkGod.
Yes.
You guys got to check out his. Hopefully, we can get a piece in here.
For sure.
That's what I was saying.
Definitely.
We got the crew. We got Tommy Boy. We got to make this more home.
Yeah, for sure.
This is home. Urban Culture Arts, man.
For sure.
And you guys got to check them out this Saturday, November 18th, 4 till 8.
Yes.
So there's so many things going on. Event highlight, acrylic artistry by Lee the Hulk. Meet and greet with the artist himself. And also as well as silent auction, culinary delights, musical harmonies from Urban Culture Arts, LeeTheHulkGod. We had a quick session with them. The universe works itself.
Yes,
man.
it
So
does.
this is awesome. So make sure you guys do stop in Urban Culture Arts once again, November 18th, 4 till 8. And come see the guy and his artwork. So come check us out. All right?
Asians and Caucasians Podcast. Asians and Caucasians Podcast.
All right, so we are back with Asians and Caucasians. It's all inclusive. We still have Lee the Hulk in the building. He's laughing at our asses right now.
Yes, sir.
Because of the name. Hey, that one drunk night at the bar, this is what happens with the name, I guess. But it's all inclusive. It's the melting pot. We are all inclusive, not excluding nobody out. All right, so I am Mr. R&B, and we have my fellow friends in the building here. So give a quick introduction of who you guys are.
This is Phonzi. I'm an old grandpa here. So I'm oldest out of everybody here, but I'm 50, divorced, one child.
And this is LeeTheHulkGod. I am 40-something. But I do have kids and grandchildren.
Hey, he didn't want to give us the laugh.
I'll keep him guessing.
Yeah, he's not as old as grandpa.
All right.
I'm also a grandpa.
All right, who we got here?
All right, we got Chris in the building. I'm 26, and I ain't married, so I'm the youngest one out of the group.
We got the baby here.
He's the youngin'.
Here we go.
I got a daughter older than you.
Is she single?
Not at this moment.
Oh, Lord. All right, so this third session here, generational back then. When we say back then.
Your parents.
Yes. Wow. So when are we going back? How far back are we going? Like 19...
Nah, just go to our parents. So we're
50s, 1940s, 50s,
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 None of us are
60s.
that old.
My
mother
was born in 1956.
Yeah, but when she raised you, you were a kid in the...
Oh, well, yeah, I was a kid in the 70s.
Yeah,
70s,
so yeah,
80s,
see,
70s, 80s.
So we're a kid in the 70s and 80s. Yeah.
70s and 80s.
70s and
Including
80s.
myself.
And then Chris,
Man, I was-
26. So
26.
So
he's
like
like
last year.
For me, it was 90s.
Like 10 years ago.
Yeah, 90s.
2013.
2000s.
2013.
Holy shit,
90s,
damn.
2000.
2000s.
All right.
Everything.
Damn, that's still young. Yeah, I'm an 80s baby, so
You're 80s
yeah,
baby.
80s baby.
80s.
Yeah, 80s. Everything has changed. It is different.
A lot
It is,
different, yeah.
We don't want to go to jail.
Yes.
Well, back then, we didn't freaking have like all the...
No.
We didn't have our social media. No. At most, you would have like the lucky kid who had like the Nintendo or the Sega or whatever at most. Or like maybe they had like one computer or something like that. That was like the freaking...
Same, yeah.
So that was it.
All right, so Phonzi, give us your generation.
Oh, it's totally
you
different.
Tell us,
like when... Okay, my parents, they had 6 kids. You didn't have like... Well, because we had 6 kids, I always shared a bedroom with one of my siblings. Okay, so we never had our own bedroom. We never freaking had, like, our clothes are most of the time. Well, I'm younger, so
oldest, middle child, youngest.
I'm
which
the
one were you at?
middle son, so I always had hand-me-down clothes. for, I remember my golden birthday. I was 9.
Okay.
I got a bike. That was my older
What kind of bike?
It was,
Huffy?
it was my older brother's bike.
Had to be a Schwinn.
I got his bike. He got a new 10-speed bike. I got his bike. That was my golden birthday present. That's how it is in Asian households, okay? Oh, I got a new pair of shoes? Yeah, that's my older brother's old pair, and he got a new pair of shoes. You know, that's how it goes.
Oh, man.
Hand-me-downs all the time.
Yep.
But that's how it is. I
how it
understand. Because, you know, even back then, I knew we weren't rich, so I was fine with it as long as we, as long as we could laugh, have food, have a place to sleep, shower,
The basic
play.
necessities.
That's all we needed, you know? I mean, it would have been nice to have a Nintendo, but we didn't have one, so I'm not going to worry
When
about
did
it.
the Nintendo come out?
I didn't have one.
Oh, Nintendo's...
That was like 90s,
Wait.
wasn't it?
That was like
You're talking
late 80s?
Yeah, I think it came out in the 90s. I think we were talking
was
about
the
like things
90s.
like
Nintendo late-
ColecoVision.
Yeah,
and
because that was like
Atari.
Atari,
Yeah,
like
Atari,
Legend of Zelda.
ColecoVision.
You know,
Yeah.
remember Legend of Zelda?
Zelda.
That was the big thing back then.
Yeah, it was.
You're talking about the NES, right?
NES?
NES. I think
Yeah.
it's yeah.
You're talking about that one.
Yeah, that was a Nintendo.
Yeah,
'Cause that's when they had Super Mario came out, Legend of Zelda.
Shit, we're old.
Yeah, we are.
We
That
are.
is-
I was just thinking about that.
Hey, you made Leo.
Yeah, because Sega didn't come out until I went to college.
Call
so-
me the Grey Hawk now.
But yeah, I remember way back then, my parents would always turn down the heat, and they'd be like, "No, just go put on more socks, put on a sweatshirt." We'd be sitting watching TV and with blankets in the living room, watching TV, and that's just normal.
I remember those days.
We went to sleep. We had 3 or 4 quilts on our bed, and the heat was just turned down.
Was the TV gray?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
TV was black and white. TV was
It
black
was
and white.
black and
It
white.
was black and white, and you had the knobs.
You had the knobs, yeah.
And sometimes
Holy
when you lose
shit.
the knob, you got to use pliers to change the channel.
Yeah.
And you got to move the antenna around constantly.
We had 3 channels:
Yeah,
ABC,
yeah.
NBC, and CBS. And then I remember when Fox came out. That was on channel 26 or on U13 or something like that.
Yeah.
We had 4
So it
channels,
was black
3
and
channels
white.
back then.
That was what year? What year?
Well, let's see.
78?
No,
82?
Yeah.
Oh, what I remember when I was coming up, when I was a kid, same type. It's, the cultures. To me, it's the same.
Right.
It's just the way you live it. You see
Right,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's all different. Like the things that he went through, did it same thing.
Same
too.
thing.
Same fucking thing. It's just the household what it is. You know what I'm saying? It don't really matter.
I remember.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I just want to say this one thing. I remember, it was the kids because I lived in the project building, so it was so it was always a kid that had that Atari. But we used to do stuff like we was into wrestling and baseball cards and stuff like that. So we used to make our own championship belts out of cardboard. These kids is plastic as hell to now. The stuff that how we used to do. We used to make fun.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have much,
Damn
but we
right.
made it for what it was.
Yeah.
Making championship belts out of cardboard. Now you can get a championship belt off Amazon.
Yeah.
Brand
These
new.
kids are soft.
Yeah. They can go
I'm
buy
talking about
championship
Charmin
belts.
soft.
Yeah.
You ain't wrong about that.
They soft, man. They soft. They don't know how it is to be hard. But the story I'm trying to tell you is these TVs would have it was a long TV. It almost looked like a dresser. The TV was in the middle, and the record player was on top of it.
Oh, those old ones.
Remember
yeah.
those?
Yeah.
Those box TVs.
So it was,
Box TVs,
You know?
yeah.
so the speakers were out the side.
The
Yeah,
speaker was on the side.
yeah.
What did a 2 18s? Or something?
Man, it was an 8-track. It had an 8-track in it, and it had a record player, and the TV was in the middle.
I'm not even gonna lie. I don't even know
Yeah.
what the fucking 8-track is.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Man, it was
8
I'm
tracks.
sorry, man.
8 tracks is before the.
What did the disc look like?
It's
a
no disc.
cassette?
It was a cassette, man.
It was cassette. It's like a big cassette tape.
That's what it was. It basically was.
What
It looked
the
like a bigger version of a Nintendo cartridge.
Yeah, it looks like a Nintendo
Straight
cartridge.
up?
Yeah, it looks like a Nintendo cartridge.
What the fuck?
Yes.
It looks like a Nintendo cartridge. It's just huge.
It blow
and
your
big.
mind. It was huge, man. I'm talking about ain't no CD flaps for that.
No,
Oh,
no,
You need a box.
That's crazy.
You need a box in your trunk for that.
That's crazy.
cassette players brought about the demise of the 8-track.
Yes.
The vinyl players,
Yep.
all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was 8 tracks. It was like the record players, then 8 track, and then cassette players, and then the huge ass DVDs.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
They used to have the huge ass DVDs, like the size of like your plate.
Yeah, because did they call them? Because they call them by different sizes, don't they? Like for
it was like,
those were the original CDs. They were like huge. They were like the size of record players.
yeah, they call them different sizes though.
I forgot what they called them. You know, I know you got like the 16 and
Yeah, there's the bigger ones, and then
the
they
smaller
actually have some smaller ones or something like that.
like I don't think the small ones actually came out maybe a little later on in like maybe
The 90s.
90s. Like the early 90s, I think, when it started really getting popular.
I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to do
that's
my
when the-
research
yeah.
because I have never even heard. But
Yeah,
I
it was-
just thought like big vinyls. Like,
Yeah, it was like
Yeah, it
probably
was like
about-
vinyl, about the
Yeah.
size of a vinyl record.
Yeah, it was about the size of vinyl records, but they were like CDs. You know, they were
Oh
big.
shit!
That's I think yeah.
Then they minimalized that, and that's how it became into CDs, where CDs are smaller.
The smaller ones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But the earlier CDs were the size of the old record players.
Okay.
That's
All right.
crazy.
Like the size of a
Well,
plate.
we're about to jump a whole generational here in a second. We got from the 70s to
But yeah,
the, to the
parenting's a lot
80s.
different. Because
It's
back then, I
different.
remember they'd always keep the heat low, barely. Our head would be cold, and they'd be like, "Okay, just put on
Put on a hat.
Put on a hat. You're cold. Okay, here's another blanket."
Same with me.
Get
Same with
body,
me.
body warmers.
Yes.
Like what I said, we go to sleep with our jeans on,
Yep.
a long sleeve shirt, socks on.
I know I did.
And we had like 3 quilts.
I know
3
I did.
blankets.
I know I
and we were
did.
still cold. And you're still too cold to take. Go under the blankets then.
Damn.
And so like we would like put the blankets above our heads, and we wouldn't even sleep on the pillow
Damn.
because
I sound blessed.
So don't touch my heat.
yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
Heat is expensive.
how many? Do you guys remember your parent? You guys, all right. Since you guys' parents turned off the heater in the house, have your parents ever turned on the stove to heat up the house?
Of course.
No, ours didn't. We didn't need to. Because like I said, it was just the heat worked. It's just they chose not to turn on the heat, so they made us put on hats and and more sweatshirts.
But it's
on.
different. See, myself, I did that. See, we did that. See, because we used heat when it was cold. The oven was a heat. Let me tell you, the oven was everything to us.
Yeah.
Because it was a heat source.
Yeah,
And it was a
cooked.
way. And it was a way. You know, when we was, because I was, we was shit poor.
Let it loose.
We was
Let it
shit
loose.
poor. Like to the point, like I used to go to school. Me and my little brothers, I used to have to wash my clothes on hand, and then we'll get in the bathtub. He'll grab one end of my jeans, and we have to twist them,
So you
twist
wash
all
it,
the
yeah.
water out, and then we'll open the oven door and put our jeans on the chair in front of the oven.
Yeah, to
Then you
dry.
go to school smelling like pizza the next day. Like you smell burnt, crispy to them. Like you must have to dry your shit on the oven. But yeah, that's why I say. That's why I try to tell my kids this all the time. Like y'all is so soft, man. You don't even understand the stuff that we had to endure,
So
and parents too as well.
all right, technology wise, so obviously social media and everything is and like cell phones, everything has evolved. iPhones, the cell phones, the phones.
Yeah.
What was the phones? The big blocks.
They were
Oh.
connected to the wall.
Yeah, that's the only one I know.
The
Yeah, the
dial.
dial. Yeah, you had
The
to
speed
dial
dial.
it.
Yep.
It wasn't speed dial. There was no speed dial.
yeah, no
it was
speed dial.
rotary.
None of
It was
that.
rotary dial.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
rotary
rotary.
dial. So you had to go like the 9, click all the way out, click,
Yep.
click all the way back, hit the 0,
Yeah.
all the way down. We had the rotary dial.
Do you guys have one?
I don't have one.
But what, a rotary dial
Yeah.
phone? Man, I ain't seen a rotary
no
dial
way.
phone in a long
Do
time.
you think these kids nowadays know how to
No
use
way.
it?
They
No.
wouldn't know how to use it.
No.
I saw a video on that.
No.
And they were lost.
They
They
wouldn't
don't
know
know
how
what
to
to
use
do.
it.
Right.
They probably sticking their fingers in a
Just
hole.
stick the finger in that thing. Okay, one now, one now, one now.
I can imagine this.
It was
Yeah, they won't be
hilarious,
able to
man.
use it at all.
Man, you had to have a long cord too, because I used to have to walk my mother the phone from the kitchen to the living room.
Okay.
And the cord was long as hell. Like I had to turn around, get up out
Is
the
it
cord.
like one of these twisties like
Yes,
this?
Yes,
it was just
yeah.
like that.
Yep.
And we had a long one too, and it'd be all stretched out, and she'd be on it.
Yeah. I mean, that's why kids nowadays, they don't understand like where the saying dial the number comes from, because they're like, why don't they just say push the number?
Right.
Because
Right.
in the old days, it's dial, because you
Dial.
had
It
to
means
dial. You
dial
had to,
it.
you had to
Yeah.
dial it.
Yep.
You have to press it, and then you have
That's
to
true.
move your finger in the
So-
half circle. That's how you had to
That's
dial
how you
it.
do it.
Oh, yeah.
So we got the technology from the Nintendo to the
NES.
music to the phones. What else? What else evolved?
Remembering people's phone numbers too.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
remember phone numbers.
You can't remember your parents' phone numbers.
You
You're
remember,
lost.
you remember
right.
your home phone number? You remember your friend's phone number? You remember like your grandma or your aunt's phone number?
You-
and like
it's
your
over.
cousin's number.
Did
you
they have the
remember
yellow
like 10
pages?
different numbers.
Yeah, they had the yellow pages.
Yeah,
back
they did
then.
have
the yellow pages.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they used
that's
to
what-
deliver that to your house every day.
But you would have to
every
remember
month,
like people's
rather.
different numbers to call. Nowadays, you're like, okay, here's my friend Bob, and you just click it. You know, here's mom, here's dad, here's school.
I thought there were presets.
No,
No,
there's no presets. None of those dial numbers.
Hold 3 for
You had,
Lee the
you had to
Hulk.
remember you had to remember phone numbers.
you had to.
Yeah, and back then you had to pay for long distance.
Yeah, you did.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
you
long
did. Pay for
distance
long
in the
distance,
pay.
yeah. Where do you think the black book came from?
What the fuck?
I had a list. I had back in the day. I used to just write numbers down, and I had to carry a sheet of paper in my pocket with everybody's numbers on it, like all my friends, and
All
that
the
was
time.
That was the contact list was a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Or
what
we
it
had
was,
like
you
a
know?
small notebook by the phone at home. So like grandma, grandpa, Uncle Bob,
Yep.
Uncle this or whoever this
Yeah.
or auntie this or cousin. And so we had a list of different names that if you didn't remember so and so's name, it was in a little notebook and everybody had their phone number there.
So how much was long distance? 'Cause so in the 80s, I think 80s and 90s, it was the phone cards.
No, there's no phone cards back.
Wasn't
There's
there
no
phone
phone
cards?
cards.
No, there
No,
was.
You had to.
It still had an area code.
Yeah,
I
it
think
still
they
had
had
an
area
area
code. So when you download, then
I
they'll
thought it was the
charge
phone
you.
cards or
They would
something like
charge you on your phone
On your
bill
phone bill for your home
for your
phone
long
bill.
like-
distance call.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So you would call and it'd be like you'd have to like this is like the first time you had to dial 1.
Yes.
So you had to dial 1
Oh,
and then the new
okay.
area
Area
code.
code.
Okay, so like I used to have a girlfriend down in Milwaukee, and I would dial 1, the area code down in Milwaukee, and then her phone number, and then whoever answered the phone, I had to introduce myself, speak to whoever answered the phone,
Right.
and then nicely, politely say, "Oh, my name is such and such. I'm calling to talk with this girl's name. Is she available? Can
So
I
you
talk
actually
to
said
her?"
that, or
And then
that
I
was a
could believe
voice?
it.
That's what you had to say because somebody in her household answered the phone because it's not like nowadays it's like, oh, I'm gonna call like Mary and she has her own cell phone and I call and talk to her directly.
Yeah.
No, this
You
you
gotta-
had to
yeah.
call their house.
So you talking to the whole family?
You're talking
Yeah.
to the whole family and now it's up to them whether they want to tell their daughter that you're on the phone with them.
And they charge you about a minute too.
They
Like
charge you
they
by the
charge
minute.
yeah. So
Uh-huh.
long distance, let your parents
so
see
you
you try
get
to
yell
long
at your
distance
parents
call.
and say, "Help! You're calling long distance. Hurry up and quickly talk with
Yep.
her. Quit wasting time because it's costing
Oh.
us
Cost some money.
Well, like 69 cents a minute.
No, back
It
then
was
only
basically like, I like you, I love you, bye.
yeah, it was only like 25 cents, but
That was it.
God
it was only
damn.
25 cents, but 25 cents a minute, it was a lot back
Yeah,
then.
that was. A lot.
Yeah, that is a lot.
Talk for 10 minutes at
Yeah.
$2 and $2.50.
Yeah.
Coming out of your own damn pocket
Yeah.
because your parents would charge you.
Yes.
Well, you
Oh,
know
yeah.
what? I think we talking too much. We gonna let this young buck
Let's
talk
go.
about his generation.
Yeah.
Because he's sitting now, he's licking his lips like he's ready to talk about his
He
life.
got a lot going on.
Yeah,
right?
Man, I remember my friend told me about.
what was your first cell phone, motherfucker?
I didn't.
You
I
had an
didn't have-
iPhone, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
What was your first phone?
Man, my first phone was a flip phone.
Oh,
Was it the Razor? The Razor flip phone?
No.
the BlackBerry.
No, it was just
It
one.
was like the keyboard. Because in the 2000s, it was the keyboard. It was the.
Nope. It was still a flip phone.
It was still a flip phone.
It was a
No,
Motorola.
My first phone was a flip phone. It was kind of like a purplish.
My shit was a block.
lavender.
My shit was a
color.
Nokia.
Yeah.
One of them
forget
track
mine was.
phones.
My first.
Track phones was mine.
My first phone. It was.
Mine was a flip phone.
It was a flip phone, and it was just a hand me down from my dad.
Yeah.
My dad had an iPhone or something, and my sister bought him an iPhone, and so
When the first iPhone came out.
Actually, I got the flip phone. I had one of the first flip phones that had a camera that they didn't know I had cameras. And I went to the strip club and I was taking pictures with it. And I was on the phone. Pretending I was talking, and doing dialing with stuff, but I was taking pictures.
What
Because
year was that?
that was like
God damn.
that was like
can't even remember.
2004, 2003,
Damn.
around then.
Yeah, because 2000s
That was the first
they
time-
had the flip phones
With the camera, that was
with
the first time.
Razor. What year?
Motorola.
Razors? Yeah, Motorola. they
Yeah,
came
I think
out
mine
with
was
the
a
Razor.
Motorola. Yeah, but this
Yeah.
is before the Razor came out.
Oh, okay.
So I think this one came out like I want to say 2003.
It reminded me.
That's his years right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember back then, a lot of kids that I went to school with, middle school, man, they had iPods. I didn't even have an iPod. All I had was an MP3 player.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Everybody was
I
rocking.
used
Yeah,
to
I
have a
had MP3.
Walkman.
Yeah, I used to have
I
a
had a
Walkman.
Walkman.
I
Yeah,
had a
but
Walkman.
I was like, man, I am still behind on everybody. I have a MP3 player. Everybody has like a Apple,
Yo,
like
the
Nano
iPods,
or iPod, whatever.
That shit was expensive.
It was.
Yeah.
When
I
when
never
the
got
first,
those
Came out,
iPods.
yeah.
when the first iPhone came out and all the Apple products came out,
Yeah.
I said, shit,
Yeah, that costed money.
that shit
It
was
cost a lot.
expensive.
Yeah, it costed some bread.
Shoot. I didn't even. Yeah, I didn't even have a phone in high school. Like I didn't really have a phone in high school. I only had a flip phone. That's about it. Until my dad bought me a iPod. That's about it.
Uh-huh.
That was it.
Man, because when I was in high school, all we had was a beeper.
Yeah,
I know,
yeah,
that's
no.
what I'm saying. A
beepers,
beeper. I was
yeah.
gonna say,
Yeah.
y'all old asses.
Yeah, we had a beeper.
I never had a beeper though.
We had a beeper. I had a beeper. Because
I never had a beeper, though.
I had a beeper because
Yep.
and then
You
we
got
had
never, like I was gonna say, you
Yeah,
had to have a
yeah.
beeper.
I never had one.
What, and the different thing, a payphone.
and
Oh,
we,
yeah.
we had
Payphones, yeah.
payphone. That was you. And I had I had the beeper and I had to
So
keep.
always
I had
always
to
carry a
keep
quarter with
quarters.
you.
I had to
Always carry
keep
a
quarters
quarter
all the
with you.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, just for the payphone.
Change always ringing in
Yeah,
your pockets
yeah,
every
I'm
time.
telling you, my
Yeah.
man.
Just one quarter. You just need one quarter.
Big quarters. I had to have big quarters.
That's crazy.
Because high
though.
school was it was one.
Yeah, because I was already in my 20s by the time cell phones came out. So
Yeah. I was pretty. I don't even think it took a long time for me to even switch over to the iPhones because I wasn't
yeah,
that type of guy really. Like I didn't really care for it.
because I think
you
I
know
had
what
like
I'm saying?
Motorola and then something else, and then I had Android, and I stayed with that for the longest time.
with Androids. Yeah. Well, phones they definitely evolved, but the whole thing is this: we started talking from parenting to technology.
I know.
goddammit. So because we gonna
Parenting and technology,
Right.
that's a big,
Yeah.
all right.
that's a big thing nowadays
so,
too.
So the perks of back then comparison to now, we have our kids now have the luxury of it.
They soft.
All right.
They have
There you go. Y'all have it.
Okay, at most back then, people used to say like, "Hey, if you needed a babysitter, you turn on the TV and let the kid watch TV, and that's their babysitter."
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's if a kid has a phone, that's the babysitter.
iPad,
Phone and
tablet,
internet.
whatever.
That's
So
it.
now, as long as you have an internet, that's the babysitter. Give
Yeah.
your kid a TV, a phone, iPad, whatever, and then just let him be.
Let them be.
Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing though?
Super bad to me.
I think it's.
That to me is
It's
a
a
bad
little
thing.
too much.
I think
a
it's
little too much.
Yeah, like anything, it's
overload.
It's overload.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because anything too much of anything is a bad thing.
Yes. Right.
So I mean, give them some technology, some internet, because you need to learn to understand that because it's part of the world. But don't put them on there for like 8 hours a day. Put them on there for like 30 minutes, an hour. Get off. Watch some TV together, cook together, clean together, do something outside together, read a book, and then come back and do it again. But don't just sit there on the phone from like once you first wake up in the morning, go take a piss, take a shower, and then come back, get on it
then
again.
they take their phone in the bathroom.
Well,
with
even
them,
when they
so-
go to the bathroom, they sit there with their phone.
That'd be the craziest fucking thing. I'm
Well, like
like,
when they're eating, when it's a family meal and everybody's on the phone, I'm like, oh my god.
yep.
Yeah, I hate
I
that.
remember-
I said that. I said
I hate that.
I saw that today on a video on Instagram where I shared it to my story too, where the mom doesn't feed them or put food on their plate until they throw all their technology into a
Yeah,
bin.
into
Into
the
the
bin. Yeah, I
bowl,
saw
Yeah,
that.
and
Yeah.
I was like,
I feel it. I'm
that
feeling
that
that.
was a big thing. Like that's why I was like, damn, like I can't even ask my daughter and my son like how's school today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you
like,
should be able to, yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
That's why I was like, they're on there watching Netflix, and I'm like, damn, I'm trying
that's
to
the
talk
point.
to
That's
you.
the point of it all. The parenting, because the simple fact is, because when I was coming up, it's probably when you get to that table for dinner, that was the time to let your parents know how your day went,
Right.
Yeah, uh-huh.
and how your day going, or what can we do. That was the whole conversation. That's when all the stuff that you needed to say
That's when you could connect.
came out at the table.
Yeah.
But now you go to the table, everybody's in their phone. They don't even look up. You know, they might be eating a cricket. They might be eating a bowl of crickets, wouldn't even know.
Yeah, they wouldn't know.
Yeah.
That's crazy though. That's what I was thinking about today. I was like, technology wise has evolved, but the same time, it's not even a good thing.
It's
Yeah.
not.
It's not a good thing. Like
I
we
mean,
grew up,
Because we're not connecting anymore. We're
Right.
individual. We're by ourselves.
yeah. So like, all right. So let's go to the next topic. We're talking about parenting. All right. So our kids. Us three in here, we have kids, but we still got this young buck over here. Ain't got no kids yet, but it's all good.
He's still a kid.
He's still a kid himself. But yeah, we always say that being a parent, it is a hard thing.
Yeah.
Being a parent is hard. And my mom always said, Wait till you have your own kids. You'll understand.
She told you the truth.
Right. And I was saying, so we'll go down the line here and we'll talk about how our disciplining, how we were disciplined comparison to now. Yeah. So I myself, definitely, we always try to portray not to be like our parents.
Yeah.
We try not to be. We try to be the loving, supporting. I mean, our parents are always supportive, but through generation, we were always raised. They were raised different.
Yes.
So it's like they're, like we were discussing before, they just had more, it was structural.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They had structure. It was more disciplinary than what the fuck we have now. So I can't even yell. Well, I'm scared to go to jail if I whoop my kid's ass. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's true.
That's the thing.
That's true.
Social
They'll
media.
call the police on you.
Hell yeah, they will. I said, dude, I've
Heard some of those
you.
stories. Yeah, we've heard some of those stories where the kids
call
will call the
them.
cops on their parents.
Yeah.
like fucking what is that? Mike Epps?
Yeah.
You say Mike Epps?
My friend, a friend
Fuck
I
you, Mom.
know, is his daughter called the police on me, and he went to jail. They
See,
locked
that's
him
some-
up.
Lock the
That's
parents
some,
up.
that's some fucked up shit, though.
that's
Child abuse.
Yeah, because it happens.
It happens. Child abuse.
That's why they have it, because like they didn't have those restrictions back then. Because back then it was just like, oh, your kids
I wouldn't
being
even say
bad.
it's restrictions though. I think it's just discipline.
Yeah.
Well, because they've had those discipline, but overall, there's like, okay, we hit enough to get your attention, but then there are some parents who just keep hitting,
Right,
and hitting,
that's
and
wrong.
hitting.
There's a
And
line.
then that's wrong.
Right. There's a line.
Then it's just about power at that time and about them being right, not about actually what is right for the kids.
Exactly.
Do you think kids nowadays know what's right and wrong for them?
Not
no.
really.
No,
They
it's
don't.
still like any
They don't.
like any other kids. They only know so much.
Right.
Okay? But again, they know enough, and with the internet, they are allowed to know more. But just because they know more, that doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah.
Okay? Because they can they learn what sex is at an earlier stage than we have.
Yes, they do.
But that doesn't mean they know exactly what to do more
Right.
with sex, because it's still sex.
Yeah, if you were to conceive some
It's
child,
man,
you
it's
gotta-
still up to the parent though.
Yeah.
We got to discipline.
We got to
That's what it is. Like social media has made these motherfuckers soft and think some type of way. That's really the truth. Is
It is.
Yeah.
it's influencing these kids nowadays to lash out and be like, oh well,
That's why they have all those keyboard bullies where they can just go online and say, oh, they see somebody do this, now they just start talking bad and start bullying them online.
yeah,
Okay?
I know.
So just because they have more information at their fingertips, it doesn't mean they know what to do better than what we did. They're still kids.
Right.
They just have more tools now as a kid.
Right.
So
yeah.
because my thing is, my thing. I'm grateful for my for me, my wife, because how we raised our kids. See, we firm believers in discipline. We firm believers in discipline. You see what I'm saying? Because sometimes this might be a crazy what I'm finna say, but when it comes to parenting, it's like it's at that point you seen Bronx Tale. Sometimes it's better to be feared than love when it comes
Right.
to discipline.
Yes.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
understandable.
Because I want my kids to fear me.
When
Because
they're young.
When
Yes.
they're young. You see what I'm saying? So I can point them in the right direction, but they're going to have to choose their path. You see what I'm saying? But that right now, my kids, they scared of me. They scared of their mother. To the point that all I got to do is give a look.
Yes.
Because you might get fucked up. I'll go to jail. And I'm going to get out and fuck you up again. And then they see that, though. And they see that to the point is I don't have to say much.
Yes.
Right.
Because they know. You see what I'm saying? But because once you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. You see what I'm saying? So if you nip it in the bud right away, and then they earn that respect for you, that fear for you, then you don't got to worry about the police
good.
being
Yes.
called.
Yeah.
I don't never have to worry about no police.
Right.
Yes.
I don't have to worry about that.
But that's real discipline.
yes.
That's what it is though.
Yeah.
You gotta discipline while they're young.
You have to.
That's a real
That's
fucking
a real
truth.
truth, though.
It's not being mean.
No, it's not.
No.
Because when they're young and they don't know any better,
Yeah.
they're looking to you to direct them in the correct
Exactly.
way.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay? They don't know any better when
Yep.
they're small about the electricity, about
Exactly.
the cars, about streets, about strangers, about the freaking what's the difference between the chlorine bleach and milk, okay? They don't know the difference, okay? But you as an adult know better and you're directing them. Now as they get older, when they're younger, you want them to listen right away. So you yell and you'll hit them right away. So because that shocks and that stops them. But when they're 12, 14, 16, you don't have to hit them anymore because
No.
at that time they're
They
old
already know.
enough and they listen
know,
to you.
right?
So
Yeah.
now you can explain, say, hey,
Yeah.
you already know you shouldn't run into the street now.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
But now when you're older, now you can talk more about feelings and relationships and anger and
Exactly.
physical violence and such on, because now they're older and they can understand.
Yeah.
But when they're 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6, they can only understand
Right.
so much.
And then because when they that young, I don't put that much pressure on them as far as discipline because they still learning.
Yeah,
Kids
yeah.
are
Kids.
they still learning. So it's like Joe Jackson. Okay, it's like you training them to basically be the person that you want them to be, better than you.
Yes.
As a parent,
We
you
all
always
want our
want
kids to
that
be
from
better
your
than
kids.
us.
Exactly.
Yes.
So when they was younger, I always kind of gave them a little leeway as far because I know they still in the growing process. You see what I'm saying? But I start really getting keen when they start mentally understanding. You see what I'm saying? Like.
Yes.
Where it can lead to, where right and wrongs, and and the consequences of life and everything else, because they can comprehend more.
Yes.
As far as the little kids, but you just gotta nitpick them when they real small. Like don't do that. If you see the stove on, then don't touch it because it's hot.
Right.
Little basic things like that.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Like the basics.
Yeah.
Hot, cold.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Even a 4-year-old, 5-year-old. You know, hot, cold.
For sure.
You
Right.
know they're gonna say. That's
Yeah.
when they start having that capability of
Processing, yeah.
everything. And so, all right, we talking too damn much. We gotta
Okay,
go back
sorry,
to
Mama.
this Chris. So we skipping Chris over here.
But
Yeah.
So his
Let's go, youngin.
Yeah, 2013,
no,
2000,
2006.
2006,
2000s.
mid 2000s,
So wow.
when Lil Jon and
Yeah.
Man, I remember everything back from 2002
okay.
and 2000s and 2000 till now.
You know
One
what?
thing-
So do I.
One thing I could talk about Chris though, he's young, but he's mature for his age. He has
Absolutely.
a good mindset.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like he just kind of flows with us.
Yes.
That's what's crazy. And young,
They don't.
they
not
don't.
like that. No.
They don't have that
No,
mindset.
no.
So like, I think he an old,
Old
ass.
soul.
Yeah, he an old soul.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just stuck in the fucking young
Right.
man's body. That's what the fucking.
Y'all the real.
But like for me, I grew up and I saw all of my parents. Like I see all of my siblings get their ass whooped by my parents.
For sure.
And yeah, when it came down to me, like when we were all going out or anything like that, my parents they would try to force us to stay home and
Yeah,
shit.
of
Like
course.
I remember back when I was younger, I weighed like 4 or something, and I remember my sister dyed her hair. My parents almost killed my sister just because she dyed her hair blonde for a night.
Hey, my parents always said, "Oh, you a little thug. You on the streets and shit." I'm like, "What the fuck? What the fuck does my hair got to do with anything?"
No.
I'm like, "Damn, I'm still saying hallelujah at
Right,
church
on
with
the
you.
real.
What the fuck?"
No,
And
you're a
then-
gangster now.
Yeah, right.
And then yeah, I remember all of that.
shit.
And I remember if I did anything wrong, I would have got my ass whooped. If I broke anything small,
Yeah.
I still get my ass whooped.
Yep. And that's how I start. Because
Yep.
I still, to this day, I still don't curse in front of my mother. Because
That's what
she
I mean-
put that in. She put that, instilled that in me. You know what I'm saying? It's
So,
about
like,
respect.
If a parent walks in the room with us, right, would you cuss in front of anybody's mom?
Mm-hmm. No.
I
No.
wouldn't do it.
I
I
can't.
wouldn't.
Right, you have the respect.
I got the respect.
I've
That's the way I
noticed
was
that.
raised. Yeah, you can say
It
the
made me
fuck.
almost check myself.
But
never
Yeah,
do
that's why I
that.
was like, damn, like nowadays it's
But
different.
that's how
it
we was
is
raised.
It's a little
Yeah.
too soft.
That's how we was raised.
Yeah.
See, right now, to me, these kids right now, they don't have no respect at all. I don't see some of these teenagers now curse old lady out like, "Fuck you, old bitch."
Yeah, see,
My
my
don't
kids,
see it.
I think my kids know better.
Yeah.
Like my kids know better. Like you could cuss at home because you're mad at a video game,
Yeah.
Right.
but if you're out in public, if I catch you, I'm taking you to a bad one, whooping your ass, like slapping your mouth.
But that's why this is right here is a great topic because look,
Yeah.
because it's parenting. You see, because my kids, I got a 12 and a 15-year-old, and they know not to curse in front of people. But it all depends on the parents. All depends on the individual and the parents how they raise them. Like your mother or your father can be your best friend instead of your parent. So that means you're gonna get more leeway from them because you're not parenting. You being more than a friend to them instead of anything else. You see what I'm saying? So you got to be a parent first.
Yes.
And that's why all the respect come in at. Yeah, but we in a generation of man your business, pull out your phone, okay? That's the generation we in now.
I haven't,
Man your business, pull out your phone.
I haven't pulled out my phone yet.
I see somebody getting beat up instead of helping, like they used to do back in the day. We used to help people, stop people from doing stuff. But now they just pull out their phone. World star.
So they're trying to get views and likes.
That's it, man. It's all about the clicks
crazy,
now.
Man.
You know,
see that
this
generation, their parents failed.
Their parents failed.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Exactly.
I was like, man, thank God you ain't my kid, because if you were my kid, you said all that to somebody, and I heard that.
Yep.
I'm pulling my belt off, and you getting your ass whipped for good.
That's exactly what's gonna happen too.
So. All right, so
I'll whoop any kid. Any kid can get it. That's gonna be my new That's gonna be my new T-shirt. Any kid can get it.
He want all the smoke.
Yeah.
It takes a village. I'm part of the
On
village.
the real.
Oh, you damn right. I forgot all about that saying. It takes a village,
It takes
right?
a village. It
I'm part of
does.
that village.
all
man.
right.
And it does.
Yeah, that's crazy. But all right, so we going on to parenting skills. We talked about a lot of different things along the way. What do you think about parent involvement from back then to now? Whether it be school, sports.
I do it all the time. That's my key. Cause I learned lessons. Cause I'm from Chicago. So and then like I said, I was poor, and what they say, idle mind. I want to say, because if you keep a kid busy, they don't have time to get in trouble.
Yeah.
See, that was my thing.
damn
See,
right.
I never had nothing to do. You see what I'm saying? So I constantly was in trouble. Because I had nothing to do. I had nothing but time and opportunity on my hands to fuck up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now my daughters and stuff like that, I always kept them busy. That's when the boys club came and stuff like that back in the day. That was always a good outlet for me too. They taught me everything. How to swim, play basketball. Okay. It was a good outlet. And I think having things for kids now to keep them busy, man, that's the most important thing. You don't want their minds to relax so they can go do some fuckery. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think it's harder now or easier now
To
keep them busy?
To keep them busy is way much easier, because we didn't have, when I was coming up, all we had was the boys club, man. Because everything we had to do on our own. We was out there playing tag or playing marbles or collecting baseball cards or Marvel cards, whatever you want to do. Right now, they have stuff you can put kids in drama class and dance
so school activities,
and keep them busy. Like I encourage my kids and my daughters, if y'all want to play a sport, go ahead, because it's gonna teach you multiple things: discipline and structure. It's a plus.
Were your parents there for you growing up, doing extracurricular activities at all?
To be honest, I was raised different, because I wasn't really raised per se, because I was kind of raised myself, because it was just out there. It was a different type of scene. You know what I'm saying? So my father wasn't there, so my mother raised me. So she had her life. That's used to be her favorite line.
Right.
I got my life, but what about me?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I had to find other outlets.
Okay.
So that's what led me to the streets. And that's what I'm trying to keep from my kids, from taking that same type of path that I did.
That's good.
And I wind up going out there getting shot, getting stabbed, getting beat with bats and bricks.
Yeah.
I did that already. But I don't want my kids to go down that path. I wasn't. I had to basically, me and my little brothers, I raised my little brothers,
Okay.
So, and I couldn't raise them because I was raising myself. I was still a kid myself, so that's just what it was.
I see that because my oldest sister, she actually, she was about like my age right now, and she was still like helping all of us.
Of course.
Yeah, like damn.
That's what they do.
Yeah, they had their own life, but they were taking care of like everybody. They were helping out everyone with their lives.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think you were obligated because you were the older one?
Yes.
Obligated.
It's like, who else is gonna do it? That's what
Right.
my choice. That's my choice, because I knew I was out there. You know what I'm saying? So my mother, she, like she said, she had a life. She wanted to live. Yeah. She wanted to go out there, but once you have kids, I don't want to say your life is over, but you got something. You have a responsibility now,
Right.
And that's the
Priorities
most
change.
important. That's the most important thing. Like your life is over for right now. Wait till we get 18, then you can say, then you can live your fucking life. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But right
Legal
now you got a
age.
responsibility.
Right.
Right. You know, I can't keep running behind these boys. You know, you
Right.
got 3 boys. It's hard. You know.
Yeah.
It
You know?
is.
Yeah.
I remember when we were growing up, I have like I said, I was the middle son. I had 2 older sisters, older brother, and then a younger sister and a younger brother. And my parents are full time working all the time. Yeah. And so like they just made sure that we were number one doing good in school.
Absolutely.
And then after school they never allowed us going anywhere. So when we were young, we just came home and we played in the yard, in the front yard or in the backyard, or inside the house, and that's it. We weren't allowed anywhere else.
That was the same here.
Yeah. But then as we got older, we started doing more things after school. But since my parents worked, they taught my older brother and sister to kind of look out for us. Say, okay, after school, you have sports. Okay, after school, if you don't have sports and you do this, we have band. We did a bunch of other stuff. Right. So as we got older, we just the kids started looking. Older kids started looking after the younger kids, and our parents were, they were still there later at night when we probably didn't have like our dinners until like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, because that's like when after basketball and wrestling and band practice was done, and my parents would be done with their work, and so we would eat our dinner like around 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And then see how we were doing, make sure by that time our homework was done, and then we'd just go to sleep and start again. But again, older brothers and sisters, we always looked after our younger brothers and sisters, and their parents were hardly ever there. They were there enough to, double check. They were always there for like parent-teacher conferences, because they wanted to make sure we were doing good
at school.
And then every once in a while, if we were lucky, maybe a Friday or Saturday night, they might be there for a basketball game or for like our concert for band. But we really didn't count on them to be there, and if they were there, it's great, but they were always busy working.
My parents, they were working a lot, but a lot of the things that I grew up with was going to school, come home, and I couldn't go out. My parents didn't allow any of us to go out. And if any of the kids were to go out, like my parents, they would go look at. They'll go to every friend's house to find.
Where you at?
Find where you at. Get your ass home. The sun already set. Get your ass home. And then there will be. I remember some days I wasn't. This was still elementary school. I remember going to the farm, butchering our own animals, chickens, cows, pigs, learning all of that. And then after all of that, still there would be some days I would get off of school. Now my parents didn't give me a choice. They'd just be, okay, you going with us, and we're going to the garden, and we're gonna go. We go to the garden in the countryside, and we're just gonna go work in the field.
But you learn from that.
That's what I was saying though.
You learn from that.
That's what I was saying. It's hard work. Like you learn how to be a fucking man. At a young age. That's what I was saying. Like it doesn't matter culture. It doesn't. We all go through different walks of life.
That's why I say
it's
the same thing.
all the same fucking thing that we all learn as kids to become better people, better version of ourselves. Even if it's our parents, different generational.
Absolutely.
Whatever. But the thing is just being a better parent. Being a parent.
It started with us as kids listening to our parents, watching them say, okay, they told us to do this, now we do it, but we look and say, okay, is this helping me or is this not helping me? We see that it's helping you, then you keep doing it and be like, okay, my parents told me the right thing. If they tell you something and then you're doing it and later on it's not working out, then you're kind of like, I don't want to do this, and you kind of rebel. So
you gotta learn how to adapt.
You learn to adapt, and you learn to judge your parents and say, okay, what they're telling me, is this good for me? Are they telling me, is this bad for me? And then from you as a kid, you decide what to do.
Is this right or wrong, or is this worth your time? I remember my father always spent a lot of time with, like, he was kind of there because take us to school, all of this. They didn't want us to get into sports because they were worried about
like
us getting hurt, injured, breaking legs, arms, and all that.
Especially because we were smaller than the other kids. And
my father, I remember they would spend a lot of time with the cousins. I remember my dad will always be out drinking with my cousins, everything, and now he doesn't really see much.
He don't really say much because he don't live. He doesn't play on that.
No. Like he doesn't see much about like, okay, like us kids. We grew up, and sometimes when we needed you as a parent, you weren't really there. That's why we as much as I love my dad, I have changed, and I have changed, and also I have learned things that are different from my father. That where he screwed up, I had to learn to change from there.
Absolutely.
There you go. Parenting 101, and you done kicked it with us, Mr. R&B.
Phonzi.
Chris.
All right, man. We're out. Take care.
Take care, y'all. You guys have a good week. Go Packers.
Asians and Caucasians Podcast. Asians and Caucasians Podcast.